Okay, welcome back. So we're going to be discussing the sources of capital. What are the different ways by which I can get money to be able to invest in real a lot of ways. We've said, it's zero money down. Some of them are your money. But I'm going to just discuss some of the sources of capital that you guys have to know. Before we go into that, let's just make a few points. Good debt makes you money, but bad debt costs you money. So you will see that I will discuss some of the sources of money, but we also have to get over this mindset of I don't want to owe anybody anything. I don't want to owe money. I don't want to do all of that. You need to use other people's money to make money. It's called OPM. You should Google it. OPM is something that is very real in real estate, and we're very, very proud to be able to use it, because when you use other people's money to make money in real estate, your investment, your return on investment is just insane. It's just infinite, because at the end of the day, you didn't put any money down. Okay, so let's get into it. So one of the major ways that we raise money is called ELOC. You guys may have been familiar with this term. It's called secured line of credit. Secured line of credit. Okay, I'm just gonna short it like that. So a secure line of credit is if you already have a pre-existing house and you went to the bank, you do all your qualifications, they're going to give you a line of credit against your property. So they're giving you a line of credit that is accessible to you anytime. You don't have to pre-qualify again, and they give you the access to that money, and you can use it to do to invest in real estate, pretty much, depending on what you want to do. Okay, the other form is called RRSP. RRSP. Okay, RRSP is what we call registered funds. So RRSP is self-directed, and you can use it. So what we mean by self-directed, a lot of you know what RRSP is, right? It's your retirement savings plan, something like that, retirement savings plan. So what this means is that a lot of Canadians, I think in US it's called 401k, but a lot of Canadians have been saving money since they started working. A lot of times you don't have access to this money, but through some different methods you are able to access this money, such as putting your RRSP in a different system that will allow you to access it. So some of them you can self-direct it yourself, meaning you can go to some of the banks offer it, some of the institution offers it as well. You pull your money from wherever it is sitting right now, you pull it into a different account, a different vehicle, a different institution, and you can self-direct it. So you can now from there start private lending it into to people, other investors. You can start putting it into land development. You can start using it into other things like that, other real estate investments. But in most cases, RRSP is arm's length, because again, this money is meant for your retirement. Don't forget that the government wanted us to save this money, and they give us some tax advantages. They give us tax break if we save our money in this pot, and they don't want you to access those funds onto your retirement. So what they had said is, yes, you can self-direct, you can manage your own funds yourself, you can choose your kind of investment, but you cannot invest it in your own direct deal, right? That makes sense, because if you invested it to go buy a house for yourself, or you gave it to your kids and all of that, then that defeats the purpose, right? You might as well not save in RRSP. They want it to be arm's length. Arm's length means that you cannot give it to people that are in your family cycle. It has to be someone that is not related to you. So I've seen situations where two friends would each lend each other from their RRSP, because that is arm's length. They're not related in any form. I will borrow you $100,000 from my RRSP, and Ruth, my friend, would also borrow me $100,000 from her RRSP, and we can sort of use this for private lending. You can then use it for real estate investments. You can use it And even if you use this for land development, the fact that a land developer is not related to you, you can also use your RSP for that. But it's at your own risk, so you have to also make sure that you do your due diligence before investing your money, right? Because that's your retirement fund. I don't want anybody messing up with that. Okay, the other one that I wanted to talk about is called TFSA. TFSA. So TFSA is tax-free savings accounts, and we also have something else that is called RESP. RESP. Okay, this is tax-free savings accounts, and this is registered education plan. This is mainly what we use for our kids. This is the pot where we save funds for our kids' tuition. This is where we save it. And tax-free savings account is, for those people that doesn't know, it's where we put money for to grow tax-free. So all the profits that you make in that fund is not taxable. So imagine if you had some money in your tax-free savings accounts. Well, this money is going to grow tax-free within a period of time. And I'm going to show you a neat strategy that I think even if you use this strategy alone, as a result of buying this course, you would have gained your money worth. So I'll talk about that in future, right after this. But RESP, like I explained, is where we save our kids' tuition fee. So what you can do again with this one is you can put it with a different institution. So I have my RRSP, my TFSA, and my RESP with the same institution that I self-direct, and I will go there and instruct who I want to private lend it to. Some of it, I also diversify my portfolio. I put some into land development, I put some into apartment development, I put some into just private lending. So those are some of the ways that you can raise your capital. So some people that say, oh, I don't have money. Well, if you've been working in Canada for over 5 years or 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is, there are chances that you have money in your RESP. You just have to move it to a place where you can self-direct it, and your TFSA and your RESP for your kids also can be self-directed. Alright, again, remember, it has to be both RESP and all of these funds has to be arm's length, so you can invest the money into your own deal. Okay, that's the disadvantage. Now the other form that I wanted to talk about is cash. Cash, of course, is king, especially in this market. Cash, you may have your own cash sitting somewhere. I know people that has $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. Some people will say, oh my goodness, Deborah, I wish I had known you in the last 10 years. I would have money in my account and I would just spend it. I will do whatever to it and it's not bringing me any returns. Well, you can definitely invest your cash into real estate. I think that's straightforward. Okay, let's talk about private lenders. Private lenders. Okay. Oh, private lenders, it could also be investors, right? Investors sometimes are the private lenders. So private lenders, I've spoken about this before. You can private lend, you can get money from private lenders. So from other investors that just has a lot of money sitting down, they want to be passive because they are busy with work and other things, and their goal is just to remain passive in real estate. Those can lend you their money and you just put it towards real estate. Okay, the other fund part is lines of credits. Lines of credits. So a lot of people does have something called line of credits. Line of credits it's accessible to a lot of Canadians if you do have good credit score. So if you have lines of credits, you can invest it into real estate. And the way I usually use my line of credits is to use it to fund my flips. So when I'm doing my renovations and all of the materials and all of that, I would take money from my line of credits and use it to fund my flips and all of that. You can also use it for down payments, for your deposits when you're buying a house. It just depends on how much line of credits you have, and sometimes line of credits is cheaper than just using other forms of money, right? It really depends on the deal. There are other people that we call add money lenders. If you go on Google and you find add money lenders, you're gonna find tons and tons of them, especially in the US. But there are a few of them also coming out to Canada. You find the add money lenders. They are usually more expensive. So you see, the more we are going down, the more expensive all of this is going to be. It's an expensive money, right? Secure line of credit is probably the cheapest, or even cash is probably the cheapest. But as we go down generally, you'll see that all of this becomes more and more expensive. Okay, this is another form that a lot of people are not comfortable to use, but again, you have to get outside of your mind of I want to get out of debt. I want to get out of debt. No, you can use your credit cards to fund your deals. I use it similarly like I use my lines of credit. I use it to pay for all renovations, materials, and all of those, right? The good thing about this is you're able to, the money is available to you immediately, and you're able to beat the bank at their game. You know, each time you save money in the bank use the money as business, they lend it back to you at 12%, 19%, whatever it is that they want to lend it to you at, right? Well, if I use their credit card within 30 days, I can use this credit card for free, and I can pretty much pay for all my renovations without having to pay for interest. It's after 30 days that they start charging you interest. So this is a very neat way of using other people's money to fund renovations and short-term loans. It's usually short-term. I use this ones for short-term loans. So this is more of this is short-term. I use this for short-term. This is short-term as well. This is short-term. This is mid to short-term. This is mid to short-term. Cash is more of a long-term for me. This is definitely a longer term. When I say longer term for this one, I even mean like anywhere between 2 to even 5 years sometimes. RESP is even longer. Like if you want to take the money until I plan to retire, I don't need this money. I don't need access to it right away. So you can use this if you find a very good deal. I don't mind locking it in for 8 years.
Hi there, my name is Deborah Ojo from DeboraHomes. Are you trying to sell your house right now? I am going to be helping you to list your house to sell it for maximum profits. I am talking about professional staging. I am talking about exposing you to the over 1,000 agents that I have in my office. I am talking about exposing to the buyers that are already ready to buy right now. So if you are sitting on a buttload of cash, you need to be contacting me right now for a customer's marketing plan that is going to help you to get a maximum of your price. You need to be contacting DeboraHomes. Thank you.
To be honest, but I probably don't want to lock it in longer. Why? Because I want to be able to diversify and use it for something else. If an attractive deal comes in play, I want to be able to use my RRSP for it. So RRSP, I plan it according to the estimated time my kids are going for college. So if my kids has the next 6 years, then probably maybe I don't want to put it in something that is longer than 6 years or just before 6 years, so I can access it and use it for kids tuition. My TFSA grows tax free, so this is more of a mid to long term. So I put the money there. I can even use it to fund some of my own deals as well. Okay, secure line of credits, yeah, that is also more of a long term, mid to long term as well. Mid to long term. So the other thing is friends and family, guys. Friends and families. I've seen people that says, you know what, I don't like doing business with my family, but I'm here to encourage you. If I have a deal that can pay my family as a private lender, I can private lend from them, and I can pay them 12% per annum. That's kind of the going rate right now. So if I can pay them 12% per annum, and I can pay my parents, I can pay my sister this amount, why won't I want to do that, right? Why will I want to do them in this service? So I'm definitely going to try to explain what I'm doing and give them all the numbers, answer all their questions, and I'm going to allow them to fund the projects. And who knows, maybe in the next little while they want also to be running their own projects, right? If you think about it, if you're the only one in your family that is rich, then you're the only one that people are going to be coming to for money and all of that, right? So don't be selfish. The more the merrier. The more people that are rich in your family, the better it is. So I actually don't mind enriching my family and friends. That's part of the advantage that I add to my circle of influence. I will bring the deals to them first, and then I will go to other people. So that's kind of how I have done it. So that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do as well. I always make a joke to some of my friends. I say, if you guys in your circle of friends, you don't have people that can fund some of your deals, this is where relationship is very important. If you don't have people that can fund your deals, they can't help you to move forward in your goals, then maybe you need to add to your circle of friends, seriously, because you know your circle of friends really should add value to you, and they should be able to help you, especially in some of the goals that you're trying to embark on, which is real estate. So I really have friends that I can call on, and I can lend like thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. So that's very, very important. That's something else that I want you guys to keep in mind. All right, there's something else called gap funding. Gap, I know I'm using different colors. It just depends on what works. It's not there's no value or there's no attachment to how I use it. There's nothing interesting about the colors. Just using whatever colors. Okay, so gap funding, those are people that will fund your deals, and in most cases they are usually fee based or interest based. Sometimes they might even ask you for profits. Okay, so they'll fund your deal. It's collateralized based on property values and the kind of deal, how profitable the deal is going to be, and based on that they might be charging you some profits. Right, so it might be a combination of these things. So let's give an example of that. Yeah, so I wanted you to you can Google add money lenders, and you'll be able to find lenders that can borrow you some funds if you're interested. And just save some of those contacts, right? Just interview them and save them so that when you are ready to actually fund a deal, you already have people that are ready to go. Okay, so when we're talking about scenario one, this is a scenario that I wanted to talk about. So let's say I needed to borrow a loan amount of $300,000 for 4 months. So there's always an amount, and there's also the term. So in this case, it's about 4 months. So in this scenario, I have scenario 1 and 2. These are the different structures. These are the different offers that I've gotten for my deal, to fund my deal. These are the different sources of capital that I have available to me. So if I do have a person that is saying, okay, I'm going to charge you a fee or points. It's also fees are also called points. If somebody said, I'm going to charge you 4% and I'm going to charge you an interest rate of 12%, right? Versus another person, another offer that gives you, okay, I'm not charging you anything on fees, I'm only going to charge you interest, which is 8%, and profits of 50%. Just looking at those, which one do you think makes sense? Which one do you think makes more sense? So 1% of this $300,000 is about $3,000, right? For the 1%, just for easy math. If you come here and you say 3 multiplied by 4, 3,000 multiplied by 4, this is $12,000. $12,000, okay? This one, 12%, how much is that? So that's 3 times 12. That's 36,000. Let me just do it again. So if it's 12% of $300,000 is $36,000. Okay, $36,000. Okay, so the fact that this is for 4 months and they're charging you interest. So interest over here is going to be divided. So it's, yeah, so interest over here, we have to divide it. So this is actually wrong. This is wrong. It has to be, so because you are just borrowing for 12 months, it's around $3,000 for 1 month. Does that make sense? Let me say it again. So interest is 12% per annum. This is the per annum fee, okay, per year. So for us to get how much we're going to pay for 4 months, it's going to be 3,000 multiplied by 4, which is around $12,000. So 12K. Okay. Now, if you had this this amount together, this is 0. If you add this amount together, it's $24,000. Okay, so that's how much it's gonna cost me to be able to borrow this amount of money for 4 months for this scenario 1. Okay, let's go to scenario 2. So scenario 2 is not charging me any interest, and they're charging me profits of 50%. Let's assume that our profits on this $300,000 is going to be $50,000. So for 50% right away, they're gonna charge me 50% of that, which is $25,000. Okay, 8% is gonna be this multiplied by 2, which is about, so this is interest again. I have to convert it back to 4 months. So 8% times 4. So let me do the calculation. So if they're charging me 8%, 8% multiplied by, this is per annum, this is per year. So 8% multiplied by 300,000 equals to $24,000. But I'm gonna have to divide this by 3. $8,000. Okay, so 25 plus $8,000 is, how much is that? That's $33,000. So if you had these two options, which one were you gonna choose? That's what I'm trying to teach you guys here. So I would choose this one, right? Unless of course if you're not there to make money, you just want to help your lenders out, then you can choose this one. But I would definitely be choosing this one. So what this is teaching us is most times fees and interest is much better than anything that has profits, because in most cases you're leaving money on the table, as we can see in this example. Okay, so don't just look at the deal, ask where did they get the information. So if you are a private lender in this case and you are trying to give money out to people, make sure that you ask people, okay, I see the deal, I see how you can make money, I see your plan, I know exactly how much the term is, I've seen other projects that you've done, so you have some resume. But also ask them, where did you get your education from? Just because you want to make sure that they are not they're not going to fail, right? To reduce the chances that they're going to fail.